Good morning. Today our lesson is going to be one of the first things that we learn about when we start talking about economics, and that is scarcity and choice. It is not a difficult concept for you guys to get because it's something you deal with all the time. But we're going to relate it to how scarcity impacts approaches to making economic decisions. First question, obviously, is what is scarcity? Scarcity is where you have limited quantities of different resources, but you have unlimited wants and needs. So when we talk about it more in terms of economics, we're going to talk about it more with factors of production, which include land, labor, and capital. Land being natural resources, labor being the workforce, and capital being the tools and the money needed to produce those things. Those are all limited. There is only so much land, there is only so many workers, and there's only so much money available to be spent. However, there's unlimited wants and needs, and those are always growing and changing within society. So, scarcity is just the condition where we just don't have enough, currently or in the future. And that is something that's just not going to stay. Change. Examples of scarcity include time. None of us have enough time in the day. Food. Not everyone has enough food to eat. There are lots of people that do not have enough food every day, and there's lots of areas of the world where serious malnutrition exists. Fresh water is limited. It is very scarce, and we need to protect it. And we have a lot of environmentalists that work very hard to help us protect our water sources. And then there's commodities. There's a lack of steel, as an example, that's used to produce buildings, weapons, any type of machinery, etc. There's a limited amount of gold. There's a limited amount of oil in the world, and we have to use those sparingly. So because there are limited resources due to scarcity, we must make choices, and those are choices we make every day. While our wants and needs are unlimited, those continually grow, we still have to make choices, and those choices are called trade-offs. If we decide to do one thing and not do the other, then we are making trade-offs. If you decide to go to the store and buy a candy bar, and instead you choose to buy gum, then your trade-off is giving up the candy bar. Something as simple as that. Opportunity cost is what we consider when we make a choice or a trade-off, and that is the value of whatever we've given up of the choice we have not made. Economics is the study of how people try to satisfy the unlimited needs and wants through the careful use of scarce resources. That is what economics is. When we consider needs and wants, they're pretty basic, and you guys know these things. We have needs that we need to have to live. We need to have water, we need to have food, we need to have shelter, and we want to have things. We want to have fancy cars, we want to have the nice shoes, we want to have the fancy smartphones, we want all those things. But could we survive without them? Yes, and that's the distinction. Needs are what we have to have in order to survive, and wants are what we have or we want to have to change the quality of our life. Here are the examples: water, shelter, food, those are needs, and here are some examples of wants. Diamond rings, a fancy Corvette, and any of those other things. So there's that's a smartphone, and the smartphones. Okay, so in summary, resources are scarce no matter what, and every country has different natural resources available, and they have to manage those scarce resources. Needs and wants are unlimited. There will always be more of these than we have available resources. So because of that, we have to make choices and trade-offs. To get one thing, we've got to give something else up. Trade is used to satisfy those needs and wants. We here in the United States do not produce coffee. We do not have the environment to do it. Our climate is not set up for that. I mean, you have to have very moist, I can't even tell you, but it's a very, coffee's only grown in certain parts of the country. Yes, it's grown in Hawaii, I know that, Costa Rica, and places like that. So we like to drink a lot of coffee. So to get that coffee, we have to trade. And usually countries will trade for things like corn or wheat. We have the Great Plains, which are great places to grow crops. And other countries will want that corn or their wheat and will trade with us to get that. Technology affects scarcity and our choices, because it makes a big difference in the level of production. As we've gotten more advanced in technology, more computers, more machinery that's automated, all those things have made things move a lot quicker, and we can produce things a lot quicker and certainly more advanced to get better production.